Something I want to mention as well is that for the past few months now, I've been teaching myself how to draw. And with the first video I had recorded going through the first three sketchbooks I had completed, because there were so many notebooks, I felt like I didn't really get the chance to pace myself properly and go through each page and talk about each thing I was drawing in greater detail. So I'll try my best to do that with this particular video since there's only one sketchbook. And something else I do want to point out as well is that from completing this particular sketchbook, something I had learned is that being mindful with what you use to teaching yourself how to draw is really important. I initially started teaching myself how to draw with only a mechanical pencil that is 0.3 lead. And I can honestly say that by doing that, it was something that was a disadvantage to me. I felt like there are certain things I couldn't do rather. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Just because the small lead and just the way it is used, right? Like if I put too much pressure on the pencil, the lead would break. And I felt like there were certain details I couldn't draw or do as a result of how thin the lead was. So eventually I came to the realization that, oh, maybe the issue is the pencil I was using. So I decided to go to the traditional route and just use wooden pencils with varying lead sizes as well. And this honestly made a big difference in my drawing. And this is something I definitely want to point out as I go through this sketchbook as well. Aside from that, I'm going to get started with going through the sketchbooks now. Alright, so let's get started with the first page of the sketchbook, which is day 73. And as you can tell, there isn't much on the first page at all. And a big part of it is just because at this time, I had also purchased an iPad as well off Facebook Marketplace. So my main focus at the time was kind of just experimenting with Procreate and working on digital drawing. But eventually I realized that by doing that, I would be spreading myself too thin and it would make learning very inefficient. So I decided that my primary focus should still be just paper and pencil. And at times, if I get bored or I want to get experimental, I would try to learn how to use the iPad with Procreate. But I really just want to focus on just traditional art and drawing in the meantime when it comes to teaching myself all this stuff, just because I think it would just be more efficient with my time and more practical as well. So with day 74, sketching a lot of miscellaneous stuff. With everything in the sketchbook, a lot of it is just references through YouTube or Pinterest as well. See here, we're on day 74. The first few days in the sketchbook were all with mechanical pencils as well. And during this time, I wanted to continue just focusing on developing my skills with portraits, getting a better understanding of just like facial structures and their placement. So eyes, nose, and mouths. Here I could recall kind of just like following a YouTube tutorial, just to continue learning anatomy for the head as well. And then on day 77 is when I transitioned from using a mechanical pencil to using a traditional pencil. And I can honestly see a big difference already in terms of my line, as well as the sketches, the form. I can see here on this page, I even start labeling the pencils I was using, so 2B pencil. Over here as well, I really like this portrait that I had sketched out, the way it looks, and I felt like I wouldn't have been able to do something like this with the mechanical pencil. So over here as well, day 78. At this point, everything after day 77, or rather day 76, was completely with only a traditional pencil, no longer using that mechanical pencil. Take that back with this particular page right here. I did use a mechanical pencil, but I kind of want to see a good difference between the different pencils I was using as well. Day 80, here I sketched Jinx, Rouge from Sonic, some Pokemon, Mimikyu, Plusso. Day 81, as well as day 82. Not so proud of the spread. Kind of just some quick sketches. Sometimes I do have days where I can invest a lot of time and be more mindful of what I'm drawing. And there's some other days where I have maybe at most 30 minutes and I can only do as much as I can. So you can see here, there isn't much to see or nothing I'm really proud of at all. And then going on to day 82. Cute little frog that I had sketched. Quite proud of this one. And day 83. Now this is a sketch I'm generally super proud of being able to create. And honestly, this isn't something I would have been able to make a few months back, or even with just like the mechanical pencil I was using. Just the anatomy and the structure and just like having a better understanding of form and shapes now was what led me to be able to create this sketch. This one turned out really good as well. So these two on day 83 feels like shows a really good glimpse of how much my skills have developed over time. And then day 84, I decided to kind of just focus and go back onto kind of just sketching body parts. Hands are something that I still struggle with today greatly. I wouldn't be able to draw this without a reference, but I'm hopeful that one day I will be able to. Some other sketches as well. Day 84. And this one is going to be day 90. Wait, now that I mention it, I think I completely skipped 6 days. So it starts here at day 84. And I think because it looked like I had written 89, I'm now on day 90. So that was a big mistake on my end. So I guess I'm like 6 days ahead of time, but it is what it is. It makes no difference. So now we're quote unquote day 91. Going back to trying to sketch faces, getting comfortable and familiar with that. And then day 91, continuing on, drawing hands. Day 92, sketching other people's OCs. 93, this is another one that I'm very proud of. Hands are kind of wonky, like I'm not the biggest fan of how this hand looks in particular, but despite that, I feel like the overall sketch still looked really good. This is another page I'm really proud of as well. Day 93, these particular sketches I feel like are another good example of the growth I have had experience in terms of my skills with teaching myself how to draw. And then day 93, final page, more portraits, and this one I feel like ended up looking really good. The other ones are pretty decent as well. This one as well as this one. Day 94. So yeah, at this point I feel like I feel really comfortable with just using a pencil. Day 95. And then continuing on to day 95, I decided to kind of just go back to the basics and try to learn how to draw shapes. With my previous video that I had uploaded, someone had pointed out that I should consider going back to teaching myself shapes so that way I have a good idea of form and proportion. And I generally agree. This is something I procrastinated on with wanting to, how do I phrase it? Like, I definitely was avoiding drawing shapes. Excuse me, sorry about that. I just really needed to burp as well. But yeah, I was just avoiding drawing shapes for quite some time. And now I'm kind of just forcing myself to do it. And even drawing these boxes took a really long time, like at most like a couple of minutes with each of these boxes, because I'm trying to understand like how to place the points and visualize it and drawing the lines that connect everything together. From there, day 96, day 97, Continuing on with shapes. And then of course, the perspective activity. This honestly took me so long, like approximately an hour. And honestly, somebody don't even look that great at all, or like their perspective is not correct. But despite that, it was very good practice. Day 97, I ended up using a 4B pencil. So as you can tell, the sketch outlines are very dark. 98 as well as 99, just going crazy with the squares. Day 99, very proud of how these sketches look as well. With day 99, with this particular page, I didn't get the chance to finish the sketch, but it's perfectly fine. Day 100, continuing on with learning how to draw shapes as well. And then with day 101, I'm quite proud of this particular sketches as well. I feel like I'm getting better with perspective slightly, as well as just copying references as well. Day 101, some of these faces honestly look kind of wonky, but it is what it is. Day 102. And then the last page, which I'm quite proud of, is going to be day 103. And I felt like this is the perfect way to end this particular sketchbook. At the current moment, I'm working on my 5th sketchbook right now. I'm looking forward to the chance to share progress with that as well. But with that, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video and getting to the end of it. And until the next time, take care. Thank you, everyone.